Hello, in this video, let us understand the meaning of balance of payment disequilibrium and types of disequilibrium in the balance of payment. Balance of payment disequilibrium is the most important problem confronted by most of the economies of the world. So, let us understand what is balance of payment disequilibrium. Balance of payment disequilibrium or a country's balance of payment is said to be in disequilibrium when its autonomous receipts or credits are not equal to its autonomous payments or debits. So balance of payment, there may be surplus or deficit. Any imbalance in the balance of payment is considered as balance of payment disequilibrium. In other words, balance of payment disequilibrium occurs when the total receipts are not equal to total payments, particularly in the current account of the balance of payment account. The balance of payment disequilibrium may be in the form of surplus or deficit in the balance of payment. A surplus or favorable balance exists when value of autonomous credits or receipt items exceed value of autonomous debit or payment items. On the other hand, deficit in the balance of payment or unfavorable balance exists when the value of autonomous debit items exceeds the value of autonomous credit items. So, balance of payment disequilibrium may be either surplus or deficit. But deficit in the balance of payment is the most important problem faced by most of the nations of the world today. Generally, balance of payment disequilibrium means imbalance in the current account of the balance of payment account. So, current account deficits means the deficits in the balance of payment account. So, disequilibrium in the balance of payment is a problem because nations spend more than capacity and increases burden of external debt. A balance of payment deficit means the country imports more goods and services and capital than its exports. It must borrow from other countries to pay for its imports. So in the long run, the country becomes a net consumer, not a producer of the world's economic output. It will have to go into debt to pay for consumption instead of investing in future growth. If deficit continues long enough, the country may have to sell off its assets to pay its creditors. Now let us understand different types of disequilibrium in balance of payment. There are innumerable types of disequilibrium in balance of payment. So here let us understand few important types of balance of payment disequilibrium. So balance of payment disequilibrium may be cyclical disequilibrium, structural disequilibrium, secular disequilibrium, development disequilibrium, monetary disequilibrium, maybe temporary disequilibrium, or fundamental disequilibrium. Now, let us understand the cyclical disequilibrium. What is a cyclical disequilibrium? Cyclical disequilibrium occurs due to the operation of business cycles. Business or trade cycles which occur regularly in a free market economy, it will influence on balance of payment through their effect on the level of economic activities. For example, economic recession or depression will lead to decrease in imports and increase in exports. leading to a surplus in the balance of payment. On the other hand, economic recovery or boom will lead to increase in imports and decrease in exports, leading to deficit in the balance of payment. So, the balance of payment disequilibrium caused by periodical ups and downs in the level of economic activity or oscillation in the level of economic activity or booms and depression is called cyclical disequilibrium. Structural disequilibrium is a type of balance of payment disequilibrium caused by certain changes in the economy. For example, changes in tastes and habits, development of alternative sources of supply, development of synthetic products, changes in technology, etc. may cause changes in international demand, leading to disequilibrium in the balance of payment. For example, India is exporting coffee to America. Now suddenly the consumption habit of Americans change. As a result, the demand for coffee will decline. So our exports will decline. Exports of coffee will decline. As a result, our imports being at a higher level, exports declining may lead to the deficits in the balance of payment. Another best example is the export of natural rubber. We export natural rubber, but with the development of technology, synthetic rubber is invented. So as a result, the demand for natural rubber of India has declined. As a result, price of rubber has declined. So this has caused disequilibrium in the balance of payment. So disequilibrium in the balance of payment caused by changes in the structure of the economy, maybe fashion, habits, tastes, invention of alternative source, etc. is called structural disequilibrium. Secular disequilibrium. Secular disequilibrium occurs due to the operation of long-term factors such as change in factor endowment position, rate of population growth, technological development, etc. Suppose a country experiences change in its resource composition, say a shortage of labor due to decline in population growth, then cost of production increases because of higher wages, and this leads to higher prices of goods. This may adversely affect the exports and lead to an increase in its imports. This makes the country to face problem in its balance of payment called secular disequilibrium caused by long-term factors. Development disequilibrium is the most important type of balance of payment disequilibrium, which is experienced mainly by developing countries. In the developing countries, imports are bound to exceed their exports, particularly in the initial stages of development. This causes imbalance in their balance of payment. We know that developing countries have to import large volume of machinery, technology, raw material, etc. to meet the requirements of economic development. However, their capacity to generate exports is quite limited, particularly in the early stages of development. So, disequilibrium in balance of payment caused by the requirements of economic development. This is called development disequilibrium. Monetary disequilibrium. Due to mismanagement of money in the economy, the which may adversely affect the exports and imports of a country, leading to balance of payment disequilibrium. For example, if the supply of money is in excess of demand for money, causes an increase in demand for goods and services. This would lead to inflation in the domestic economy. Inflation will lead to decrease in exports and increase in imports, causing deficit in the balance of payment. Temporary disequilibrium. Disequilibrium in the balance of payment caused by short-term temporary factors such as bad monsoon, cyclical fluctuations, natural calamities, speculative movement of capital, etc. However, in the long run, it will disappear. So, if the balance of payment disequilibrium is caused by the short-term factors, temporary factors, it is called temporary disequilibrium. Fundamental disequilibrium in the balance of payment. This concept was introduced and popularized by International Monetary Fund under fixed exchange rate regime. The fundamental disequilibrium in balance of payment is defined as a persistent long-term disequilibrium in a country's balance of payment. Economists generally define fundamental disequilibrium as a deep-rooted, persistent deficit or surplus in the balance of payment of a country. It is a chronic balance of payment deficit according to IMF. It is a long-term nature and a matter of serious concern for the country. So most of the developing countries do face fundamental disequilibrium in the balance of payment caused by deep-rooted factors. So in this video, we have understood the meaning of balance of payment disequilibrium and important types of disequilibrium in the balance of payment. Thank you.